Nice. 2 o'clock.
Okay, we're going to open the Nowata County E911 meeting for June 20th, 2019. Call to order, roll call. McElhaney, here. Maddock,
Here.
Seals.
Here.
The board may discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on the following items. Item number 3, reading and approval of minutes from June 6th, 2019.
I'm making a motion to approve with changing the 2nd to the 6th.
I will second, because I have read them. I will second with the exception that my name is misspelled.
It is.
It's
I know that.
H-A-N-E-Y.
I had that. I had that. You don't know what I went through.
He did mine for twice, so don't feel lonesome.
I had it in, let me just define this here, because see, I had, for whatever, I got that in my dictionary. And so it opted up to make the correction. I said, okay, I've been writing the minutes. And so I corrected, and I said, no, that's not right. And I went through and I started changing, because I had several places. And I missed that. So I will make the changes as corrected.
I have to leave my phone on, gentlemen, because I am the one on call. My other officer had to go to Bonita.
My phone's in the truck.
Okay.
The truck answer.
Item number 4, discuss and review proposed second draft for the E911 Trust Authority from Assistant District Attorney Ashley Kane. Did she approve it?
Yep. Yep.
And I've read it.
You've read it now. What she also, I'll tell you what she took out. What she took out was in page 7. On page 7, she took out there was a line item. There was an 8 over here. There was an 8 that said if we run out of money, then the city of Nowata and the county commissioners would
Funded.
help compensate that.
She took that out.
And see, I highlighted that, because I
Yeah,
said,
I
remember,
see. Yeah.
I highlighted and I said, boy, that sounds really fishy to me. I don't think the city of Nowata has not embraced this, okay?
Yeah.
And so, what I've taken is everything that was tied to the city of Nowata out of here, and then she said, fine. And the only other thing that I had, and I'm not going to be hammering on it because I was looking at trust authorities. They work for the beneficiary, so the beneficiary is the county, and they're normally exempt from audits, but the county can have their books audited. You know, it goes and ties it with the counties as opposed to what she's got us setting up and bringing an audit in 90, 80, 180 days or 60 days after we set the trust up to do an audit of our books. And then I said, I got a question there because that's going to be $6,000. And the county just went through an audit. So they know where that money is, and the money is sound and sacred. So we just got fixed it.
Well, I have went through it. Rocky, have you had a chance to go through it?
Did you ever get an answer about this?
Oh, the trust on being sued? It's the trust authority that would be a consideration for being sued, not the individuals.
Okay.
And
I
so
just want, because I said it's still on there.
And it's still on there, and she says, this trust authority can be sued if you violate rules. And so, yes, now it can get sticky because I says, I don't, individual-wise, if you willfully do something that is harmful to somebody else, yeah, you can get sued. So you got to pay attention to what you're voting on and what you're doing. So, but she said that has got to be in case because you can, if you can sue, then you can be sued.
Yeah.
So that was her comments on that subject. And so right now, and I think she's still looking at our bylaws. I didn't get no email from her this morning, but it's the bylaws that she's looking at putting together for us. But as far as this paper is concerned, what do you think about it?
Well, I liked it. I compared to that other stuff we looked at.
Okay.
I think it's ready to present to the commission.
Then I would go with that. We can make a motion at this point.
I make that motion that we present this, the revised from Assistant District Attorney Ashley Kane to the county commissioners and asked for their approval
For consideration.
for consideration, possible approval.
Also approved.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. I'll let you write all that down before we continue. Shake the table. What you're trying to write.
Just get him a bit, write him a note that we're going to remember today's the 20th. When you rewrite
Hey, you know.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna get depressed. You know, you can see a grown man cry.
All right, line item number 5. Continue discussion and review proposed E911 deployment plans for Nowata County for the state of Oklahoma.
Okay. In that plan, you all have where I emailed you that proposal, the draft that Lance had sent. Basically, it's going to be tailored to that direction in defining, I'm thinking, my thoughts are define Oklahoma. Now that I have a little floor plan or something that I can say, that the trust authority that we sets up gives us the 2 options to do what we need to do. Okay? Right, Rocky?
Yep, that's what we agreed on last.
And we agreed that's the options we want to look at. So
One of them
it's
too.
there, so, you know, to me, it's a matter of saying, I can start putting together some ideas on how to make that presentation to the state and pass it by you, let you add or edit what I come up with, see what I can do.
And what were the 2 options?
The 2 options is that we have a shared services, and the shared services would be with Roger County. If Roger County would say they would be interested in sharing services with Nowata County, or option number 3 would be let them do all of it, the whole enchilada.
And just asking, is that shared just with Rogers County, so we would be looking at half and half? Or is that, I mean, expenses wise?
Expenses are reduced. We still have expenses, but they're going to be reduced as opposed to a standalone.
Did you don't have any cost estimates? Or anything?
It's in the packet that I sent to you, that we got from the shared partners.
You sure you sent that to me?
I think so. Our
All right.
critical partners.
I'm sorry, I guess I didn't see that.
Because I followed up the head, I sent that, one.
Okay.
Make sure that you see.
I'll
that.
read it. Sorry.
You haven't done your homework.
I guess not. I've been too busy.
But that's where I'm going with that. So it's still a work in process, no action to take on that.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you have any questions, Rocky, on that?
No?
All right. Item number 6, review plans from our mission-critical partners and others, including cost for equipment, facilities cost, communications, relays, towers, personnel, and current equipment, to name a few for starters, and review plans that best meet the county needs. Status on options 2 and 3.
Well, if we had somebody here from Roger County, we can have a good discussion.
What was it again?
We got somebody here from Rogers County, so.
And Daryl Mager just took over for Dorita at INCOG.
Oh, Incog is here. Hi, Incog.
Hey.
I was told I needed to speak with you.
Okay.
And he was the last year's 911 state board chairman as well, so he's,
And Daryl, last name?
Maggard, M-A-G-G-A-R-D. Give you some cards here.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Excellent.
Because how it's being laid out in what I see, in order to, I talked with, let me just say, I had a call with RS Digital. Mapping is going along fine. We had some questions. I got to talk with Rocky on your addresses. Do you have some kind of paperwork on those addresses? When he looked at his map, the map he's looking at, he's only got one address on.
Oh, really?
100. Who's ever 100 address? Do you know anybody that's 100? Or I think you got 3 streets or 4 streets?
No, I've got 4 streets and 3 avenues. I'll send him one of my town maps.
Okay.
See, we had to
email me the town map.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Because and then I also have an issue with Watova. Does Watova have streets? Do they have street addresses?
Watova have street addresses.
Does Watova have street addresses? Watova? They're like Alloy.
Well, they bound to then, because we redid ours last year because of the AT&T /
They have street names in Watova.
Yep.
I bet they do.
Yeah, they're
Because they've got three going east and west, and then a couple going north and south.
You may find out real quick?
Well, it'd have to be the same thing as mine, because that's a state law. You can think.
Yeah.
Hang in there for just a matter. He was looking at it and he was going to send me information, and I said, well, we have our meeting on Thursday, and so I'll just ask.
Yeah, because that's the same way as you go with that.
You live in Watova?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I live in Swallow.
Oh,
You need to call Ralph Bell. He's
Yeah.
the mayor of,
He's the mayor of
unofficial
Watova.
mayor of Watova.
Ralph
Is that
Bell?
Rogers County?
No.
No. Then I bet it is, because, see, the county come in and put all new signs up mine. See, that was one of these 911 deals that come up. I've got new fancy green signs up instead of the little concrete corner signs we had
Yeah.
for 40 years.
I bet it, yeah, I bet it.
And then we had to, stagger them right side even, left side off.
I didn't know, so I said, I'll wait till meeting and ask and get some information on addressing, but he said it's moving along good. He's wanting to, Ralph Bell, it's 8, 6, 8, gotcha. Very good. So, other 2 options we've got is standalone or setting up a shared services, getting a building, building a building, getting a building built, and getting all the stuff tied together into that particular building. Yes?
Okay, so, hi, I'm the emergency manager. So FEMA was in my office yesterday, the Division Services Administrator, or whatever, who oversees all the different types of benefits that are going to be available to us because we were declared for both public assistance and individual assistance. So he said, what other needs do you have in the county? And I explained to him that 911 was in process and that we were looking at, our needs, and my idea of having a co-located new emergency operations center for the emergency management and a 911 center. And I told him my idea about having this co-located building. And I also talked to him about storm sirens, because we have several that were not working after the storms, and that we do have several that you have to operate from the pole, and that's not good, right? So he called me this morning and said, I have reviewed both of your suggested projects with my hazard mitigation team, and they are looking upon both of those very favorably at a 90% funding because of disaster funds that are now available. He's coming to my office on Monday to discuss that further.
Now, was this Eric Tipton and Glenn?
Yes,
Irish?
Glenn Irish.
Glenn Irish?
Yes.
I spoke with him too.
Yeah.
And I spoke very highly of you.
Oh, well, that's good. He seemed pretty excited.
Well, and see, he also said that FEMA would look at even with shared services on the building.
And so,
And so anyway, I said, well,
He called me this morning and said they are looking at that very favorably. And
But I'm-
No, no, I don't-
some of those,
Just tell them one thing and they
Sure.
can think about it next week.
Okay. You got something?
Yeah, I don't know where you're at on your agenda, but we met with the Coffeyville PD last week, and a couple of years ago, it was requested of them to take over the 911 calls from about County Road 410 west to Juan to the county line and north of Highway 10, because Coffeyville EMS already responds to that area. So it was requested that they go ahead and take the 911 calls from that area. So then it just kind of went through several sheriffs and it just kind of just stopped from there. So they're asking if you still want them to do that. If you do, they will move forward with it. If not, then that's fine. I know it's not the meeting to talk about it because you're probably not on your agenda, but to think about it. I got to go back over there because we're having problems and we got to take 2 up to court, but
I'll talk to Chad and see
that's
what
the
his-
question.
I'll talk to
Yeah.
Chad and see what his thoughts are on it, what
Okay.
he's talking about. Because see, my understanding was that they were doing 10 square miles inside.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to be taking one area, the one area, doing 911, so I
The
don't.
EMS responds there, but
Yeah.
the 911 calls in that area, the boundaries I gave you come here.
Still-
Or
still
where
come
do they go? I don't know, but.
Well, we've already talked about that. We don't want to break it up where part of the county's going here and part's going, it needs to all go to one area.
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask him what his issue was.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay.
so after I talked to the FEMA fellow this morning, I did talk to the Board of County Commissioners. I did talk to Doug Sonnenberg and asked him what his feelings were on even discussing that, and, and he's all on board, especially at 90/10. There is a possibility that we could get 100% funding, probably not on the 911 building, but on the storm sirens, we may get them for 100% funding. So, because of the disaster availability of funds and our needs. So,
Where did sirens fail at?
Yeah.
Watova and the one apparently in South Nowata. Brian Hewitt had to fix the one and the other one's just not operating. It took a lightning hit.
I don't
It's
even
not
have
operating.
I don't even have one.
Yeah, we
You don't
gotta get
have
you
one?
one.
Well, we use trucks.
So we will explore that and figure out how we can do that. The ideal situation is that you have one in your area that you can operate with digitally, but it also has a redundant or backup in a location such as an EOC, so that there are 2 places where it can be set off if necessary. So that's what the guy that was with him, the other guy, the third guy,
I want to see 2.
he was in my office. He's old EM from Kentucky. He said he went through this conversion. He can tell me how to exactly replace, and what your needs are as far as the area that you need to cover, and so it looks very promising that that's going to turn out to be something very positive for our county. So, but the 911 center, after I got off the phone with him, as I explained before, my idea was to have the storage container thing. So I talked to John at Budget Box, who does some of these things. And I asked him a little bit about some different designs and stuff, and he said, usually they just do singles, but that's only 9 feet wide. So I said, well, we would probably need 2 or 3 40-footers put together, and they could cut the, do the welding as far as making the openings for the doors, the windows. If you're putting 3 together, keeping part of the walls in place to create spaces such as bathrooms. The 911 center would be separate and secure and that sort of that. I talked to him. And I said, so ballpark, what does that look like, finished out and everything? And he said, finished out would be under $100,000. And they could do it in 6 to 8 weeks.
Is that capable of keeping our equipment dry,
Yes.
safe, at the right temperature?
Yes. Because what they do is they use first of all, they spray it with insulation, I guess. That's my understanding. The guys that they work with spray it with insulation. Then they put up the wallboard, and it is temperature controlled. It is safe. You put on a roof, and you put all your duct work up there. He said they last forever. I mean, metal buildings, so, I mean, steel buildings, so they're earthquake proof, and as long as you're on a good slab, you gotta make sure you're tied to a slab, but that includes, he said, that should not run you any, it should be under $100,000 completely finished. Walls, floors, windows, doors, roof, electrical, everything.
Just remember the building is the cheapest part of all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to have 2 people on duty at all times,
Right.
and all the
See,
equipment
and
and stuff,
that's-
so you're gonna have to update all your
So the
equipment at least
ongoing,
every 5 years.
Yeah,
So-
and see, and that's the other thing, and
Yeah.
we're looking at, I mean, my ballpark figure is, I'm gonna say right at $7,000 a month. Maybe the top side that would come in from the county, from telephone calls, from wireless, from all monies coming in, should hover around $7,500, $8,000.
Based on what's coming in now.
What's coming in now that's projected to come in now. And I don't think unless, something, which then says, okay, you're looking at 80, 90, maybe close to $100,000. And then you've got personnel, then you have IT,
Equipment.
you have an IT person that's going to be there, that's going to be on call, or they're familiar with the equipment. So you're running several people, 5 people, 6 people, possibly.
What would you say, Vicki, if you had a staff of 2?
You're gonna have 10.
10.
So you have to have 5 to cover 24-hour shifts.
That's 10
So you
people.
have to have 2, so you have to have 10 people. And that's not counting overtime or anything else. That's if they work their regular shift, nobody calls in sick, nobody ever goes on vacation, anything. So then, once that happens, then you're getting into an overtime.
This project off the road, it would be outsourcing the services to Roger County. Would be the most cost-efficient way of getting it done. And we just need to start figuring out how much it's going to cost us.
Yeah, you need some sort of a number.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I need a number to see.
Just like you said.
Even if she just emails you
Yeah.
something to start with, doesn't have to be.
It's like she did. She talked to them. I'd still like to see something in black and white from them people, information about the building, but I'd still like to see something from you in black and white where you can balance them out, because in black and white it's better than talking about it.
We'll move on to number 7.
And I just keep that in there because for Services Committee and no new additions.
Number 8, any new business? Anybody have anything else? We'll cover all this on the, what do we say, the 18th?
The 11th.
We'll have
11th.
11th, next meeting, 11th.
Well, I meant when Vicki was going to be
Yeah.
back with a
We're
possible.
gonna try to do it the 11th.
Okay.
The 11th. Go to the next one.
All right, if there's nothing else, you make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
All those in favor? Aye.